66, 89. Everywhere I go, people know this place. The pride that we all show is visible from space. In these parts, it's always heard and seen. We all know exactly what I mean when I say, let's go out and paint the whole world green.
I just want to say this about your Premier, Brad Wall. He's only been elected for a couple of years, but he is an incredibly powerful leader. He's the chair of the Council of Federation right now. His job is to bring together all of the premiers of all the territories, all the provinces. He's a very good listener, not something you often hear about people in public life. He is a very good listener, but more importantly, he is a dynamic leader. And I have every confidence that this is a man that's going to go down in Saskatchewan history for his leadership, his vision, and the fact that he works with all premiers in the whole country to make us a stronger place. Thank you so much, Brad, for all you're doing for all of us.
It was a story a friend of mine told. He had two daughters really involved in hockey and a very young son. And they traveled all over northwest Saskatchewan. They're from Lloydminster. They traveled all over northwest Saskatchewan. This little guy went with his dad and watched his sisters play hockey every weekend, all weekend long, during the week. He'd watch them practice. Over the years, he would follow them as closely as his mom or his dad, this little guy. And one day, his dad said to him, you know, he was getting a little bit older, he says, it's your turn. It's your turn to start playing hockey. And the little guy says, Dad, hockey's for girls. Branding is about perspective, and stereotypes are about perspective. In Saskatchewan, our perspectives have changed. The stereotype has changed. We've moved from have-not to have. We've moved from declining to growing. We've moved from being a great place to be from to being a great place to be. And there's more in store. Most of the chartered banks are saying Saskatchewan will lead the country in economic growth, not just next year, but the year after that. Maybe this year we may have to share the title with British Columbia, some of them say. We have the lowest unemployment rate in the country today. We will break the record. In 2009, we'll show we'll break the record for investment capital to our province. We're going to move to do the same thing again next year. And there is statistic after statistic that shows that we have this momentum right now, that we all prize, that we value. And so for what it's worth, and for those of you who are currently invested in the province, thinking perhaps of expansion, for those of you who are considering coming anew to Saskatchewan, I want you to know that the government is committed to keeping that momentum going. We have our own growth agenda. It's founded on some basic principles. It's founded on lower taxes. It's founded on investments in infrastructure. It's founded on an innovation agenda that wants to capture leadership in environment and energy technology like CCS. The innovation agenda is founded on our strength currently in ag biotech. A third of Canada's agricultural biotech industry is at the University of Saskatchewan. It's founded on the fact that we have Canada's only synchrotron, on our vision for adding value to uranium, for nuclear medicine, and perhaps small reactor technology development. These are all important parts of our growth agenda. But perhaps there isn't anything more important to our growth agenda than our plan for fiscal stewardship and program. Because a growth agenda is expensive. Tax cuts cost money, infrastructure costs money, innovation investments cost money. We've got to make sure we are sustained for the long term. And if you are currently in the province or thinking about being invested in the province, you're going to see in our budget upcoming this year that we will make some difficult choices. But they will be the right choices so that we can maintain the strength, that we can maintain lower taxes, that we can maintain the fact that we paid off 40% of the province's debt just in the last 2 years. And in Saskatchewan, we understand why we want the growth agenda in the first place. It's not the end. The end game is quality of life. The end game is to be able to provide for those who are most vulnerable. The end game is to provide low tuition for those who want to go to post-secondary and enough seats for those who want to go to post-secondary. The end game is to provide better health care. That's why we want you investing in Saskatchewan, so we can maintain and expand on our tax base that will provide all of those things. That little guy, ladies and gentlemen, he thought hockey was for girls. That was his perspective, at least for a time. We want the perspective of Saskatchewan to be this, that Saskatchewan is for entrepreneurs. Saskatchewan is for builders. Saskatchewan is for dreamers. And if you are considering an expansion or something brand new, there is not a better place to be than the province of Saskatchewan. Thanks for coming tonight. I look forward to chatting with you.